Welcome to the Militia gaming community. I'm Trigger, and this one is all about the 2020 Polestar 1 in Need for Speed Unbound. Let's go! This build is once again coming out of the Jaeger Hunters protein camp, coming from Luigi, or Luigi RKO 49. He's the one that came up with all of these builds and then sent them over to me for testing. I then tested them again, and I love all three of these builds. Well, one of them is a little shaky, and you'll find out why later in the video, but shout out to Luigi for these builds. I appreciate it, man. Alright, so this car is very interesting. The first time I ever saw a Polestar, like in real life, I couldn't figure out if it was a dope electric car or just a silly sedan. It's the most meh looking car you'll ever see unless you do this to it. Now it's straight out of the Fast and the Furious Sweden. Shout out to Don Shogun for the rap as well. This thing is public. You can go up and pick this up in the community section, and then make sure you follow him as an artist so you can get all of his future raps. This thing no doubt looks really great now that it's modified, and that's actually one of the best features about this car, is that its customization is literally insane. It might be worth it just to buy this car just so you can customize it and then drive it around at the speed limit getting gas and trying to run over pedestrians, which are the most ninja peds I've ever seen in a game. But if you do want to race it, it's actually really good in a couple of different tiers. Luigi sent me 3 builds, which I then tested myself, like I said earlier. He spent 4 days on this project before sending it over to me for final testing, so you can rest assured that these are the fastest possible builds for the car in each of these tiers. I'll start with my favorite of the 3 tiers, the A+ build. I was absolutely destroying public lobbies with it. Now, I'm not sure the people I was racing against were the fastest out there, but it wasn't even close. I literally felt like a Ferrari in a B tier race. Imagine? But here are the stats for your reference, even though they don't really tell the full story of the car. I have had a couple of requests to show the stats in these videos, and I'm a people pleaser by nature, so there you go, couple of people out there. Alright, here is the full A+ build. Now moving on to the S build. Again, super viable in S-Class when driven correctly. I think as this car gets faster, it becomes harder and harder to race well. It requires the driver to be ultra careful with their inputs. However, in S, it's still pretty user-friendly. You do need to watch out for oversteer with burst NOS, and the best way to do it is to feather or completely let off the gas at the moment you burst and then jump back on the throttle. The other thing that absolutely destroys this car is the curbs. For some reason, it curb hops like crazy. Most cars just jump a little tiny bit on the curb and you lose your steering for a second, but this thing actually grows wings. Anyways, here are the S tier stats. And here is the full S tier build. Alright, moving on to my least favorite of the 3 builds, the S+ tier. This car is actually super fast, especially when you don't require it to turn a whole lot. I ran a 308 on Big O, which is kinda nutty considering I can regularly achieve 255 to 3 in the Regera. I'm definitely not saying it will keep up with the Regera, but it's not the farthest off. That being said, it does take a special driver to drive this car fast on tracks that are demanding. I guess I could say that for all the cars in the game, but especially for this one. If you aren't precise with your steering and throttle control, this car will be like your Saturday night drunken mistake. You thought you were doing good for yourself, but then you ended up waking up with a banged up wide body. Here are the stats for the S+ build. And here is the full build if you want to take a chance, but don't say I didn't warn you. Alright, Thank you so much for watching. Your support is much appreciated. And don't forget, if you want to support the channel even more, you can become a member by clicking the join button below. It's like being a Twitch sub only for YouTube. And shout out to all my Heat 5 members. You guys are literally the best. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.